Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from SpeechModification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. In this video, we'll look at how to pronounce madam, ma'am, and miss, and we'll also talk about when to use them and when to avoid using them. So first of all, the word madam has first syllable stress, and it has the a black cat vowel. So you can think about saying something like that madam, at madam, to be able to have that a vowel match. The second letter A is basically not there. There's no vowel sound there. If there's any vowel sound, it'll be a little bit of a schwa sound, but we have what's called a syllabic M here. We go right from the D to the M, dum, madam, madam. So you really don't need a vowel in there. You can learn more about syllabic M and N in my videos for those sounds. Words like bottom or mountain have that same pattern of going right from the D to the M or N sound with very little vowel. Then when it comes to pronouncing ma'am, we again have the black cat vowel, and it's fairly straightforward. Even though it looks, it's a shortening of madam and it's written this way, we just say ma'am, just the same as a word like ham or scam with the a vowel. And then lastly, miss, fairly straightforward. We just have the I vowel and the S sound. So there's no change here to the spelling. It does follow very traditional patterns and rules for American English spelling. When to use these, typically madam is not really used too much in everyday English in America. So this would be something you would see in writing. You might use it if you're trying to be extremely formal and even maybe as a joke, like, hello, madam. We certainly don't. The only time I would say you might use madam is if you were talking to someone who's significantly older than you and still from the time in our culture where madam might have been used. We use it formally in writing, sir or madam, but we certainly don't use it very much in speaking. Ma'am, sometimes people use in speaking, usually for a woman who's older rather than a young girl. The problem with ma'am is that many women don't like to hear it. They might prefer to be called miss, even regardless of what their age is, or they might prefer not to hear ma'am or miss, just to be, if you're trying to get someone's attention, for example, just saying excuse me, rather than excuse me ma'am or excuse me miss. Sometimes you need a little something to get someone's attention, and you may choose to use ma'am or miss, but you may find that some people find it offensive or simply don't like being called ma'am. Especially, I would say, younger women who think of themselves maybe still as being a young person who you would call miss. If they get called ma'am by someone, makes them feel old. They don't like it. So keeping this in mind, I think ma'am in many cultures and other places where English is used is a very respectful term. In the US, it may not be as popular, and you might want to try avoiding using it. Just keeping that in mind. Of course, it's going to depend on where you are in the US as well. I think there's different places and different cultures, different expectations. Observe what's around you and maybe ask people that you know whether they like to be called ma'am or miss or nothing at all, to get that sense of what you're using to be appropriate. So I know that's a little bit of vague advice regarding this, but I also know that in my own experience and with many women that I know, they have a little bit of an aversion to being called ma'am. So that might be something you think you're using to be very polite and appropriate, and you might actually be not necessarily offending someone, but they might not like it very much. Okay, thank you for this request. This is a little bit off topic. We did talk about our pronunciation, but it is sometimes useful to know what happens culturally with your choice of words, so I wanted to just talk about that a little bit for today. I'll be back again tomorrow with another Word of the Day class, and on Friday we have our live question and answer class. You can attend that by clicking on the link to take you to the YouTube class, typing your questions in the chat, and I'll answer them for you live. If you have a request you'd like to see covered in this series, feel free to leave that in the comments for this video or any of my videos. I look forward to seeing you again soon, and I hope you can attend our live class. I'm Christine Dunbar from SpeechModification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye everyone. Hope to see you again soon.